here in the lobby of the university, so maybe it's a little noisy, but that's the easiest place to be
That's
right
okay.
now.
We can understand you very well. Thank you.
To be honest, I have not had much time to look at your questionnaire / add-in, so I guess you will have to take me through it and then get my feedback.
So
That's that document you call SSD add-ins
yes,
for TSI training tools.
that's right. Do you want us to describe it a little bit for you?
Sorry?
Do you want us to describe it to you, or?
Or we can maybe just... I have just spent 5 minutes kind of scanning through it, but not really got it under my skin, so to say.
Yeah.
I guess you need to describe what it is and what you would like to get from me.
Okay. So
Yes, so we are studying in Karlskrona in Sweden a program of strategic leadership towards sustainability. So here in the program they teach us this framework for strategic sustainable development. And it is about taking this approach of sustainability and to make it more strategic by making it operational with a set of principles that includes also ecological and social sustainability. And like, for example, in the social sustainability principles, they are like scientific based principles based on the complex adaptive systems, like that you may be aware of, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yes. So after thoroughly study of research on these complex adaptive systems, they came up with some principles, social principles for achieving sustainability. And that is what more of our add-ins are into in our add-in list.
yeah, so we are using the main elements from the strategic sustainable development, where we found it might fit in the TSI project, TSI toolbox. So this is why we need your feedback,
Okay, yeah. So is this add-in list or what?
Yeah, that's an add-in list, which we think can be complementary to the TSI toolbox. With what we knew from, we know from the SSD, Strategic Sustainable Development. So of course you are the writer, you are the author, and you know much better than we do. We need your insights,
Yeah. So this has, as I can see, a number of what you call tools.
Yeah.
So
The
so
five.
how do you imagine they will work, so to say? I mean, what is so? I mean, if we look at the first one, like first tool, 5 shades of change,
That's
funnel, metaphor,
Uh-huh. So these are mostly concepts. This is also what we have been discussing for a while. This can be an introduction of strategic sustainable development concepts and the framework, or this can be some sort of a lesson plan, lesson template as a complementary tool. So this is something we are planning to decide after we get your feedback. Because, in the toolbox and in the theory, you also mentioned sustainability. This can be a great toolbox for sustainability experts and social innovators as well. So this was the original idea, they are working very in parallel, the sustainability experts and the social innovators. So why not add more sustainability concepts into the TSI toolbox, which works as a perfect tool for social innovators.
Yes, adding on that, for example, to be more with the tools, you have this monitoring and evaluation tool where you have developed the narratives of change, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So these narratives of change are also about talking about how the social innovations can create a story that helps in the transition towards a more sustainable society. How they see the relationships with systems, their initiatives with the systems. So, like, we thought about introducing these strategic sustainable development features for example, to help social innovators to create, to help them when they develop their narratives of change, like to have a vision of success that can be more strategic in saying, yes, you don't have to surpass these boundaries. For example, you have this boundary that your initiative needs to be very health. That needs to be obstacles.
Yeah. So I mean, so the first one you have, this is this funnel metaphor, which is, I mean, so how do you imagine that how should a social innovator / civil society organization, whatever, use that?
Yes, this is more like a metaphor for them to understand that their impacts in the work can be very, to tell them that whether these unintended consequences of their acts, and also to explain that if you continue with the unsustainable path, if your social initiative is going to keep up with continue with the same unsustainable path, then this funnel for society will close. We will do you know what I mean?
Not really. I mean, so this is. So yeah, I would more say, okay, if it's a tool, then it needs to be clear to those that should use the tool how they should use it for what, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Eden list is not a tool itself yet. These are just the items that we think can be complementary to the TSI toolbox, because you are mentioning in the theory and in the toolbox there is this sustainability emphasis, but there is nothing which explains or which defines what sustainability is. And we thought strategic sustainable development can be an easy and short way to introduce what sustainability is, or how a social innovator can see sustainability and can continue to work on social innovation with an idea of sustainability in their mind. This is the aim. So this is why we just put the concepts we thought might be helpful for social innovators. They are mostly either concepts, or they are, for example, if you scroll down, you can also see the 8 sustainability principles. So in that, we are trying to explain the sustainability is not just ecological, but also it has this social dimension. The aim is to expand the social innovators' way of seeing things from the sustainability point of view. This is why we thought these add-ins can be complementary to the toolbox, but how it can be applied, this is not something we are certain about yet either. And our project will probably end with the add-in list. We cannot go further because of the time limit. We need to finish in 3 weeks, so that's why we created the add-in list. And that's why we really need your insights about if that might work well or if it needs further improvement, to what extent, you know.
Yeah, so I think it's a question about, well, how can we use it? So when you say, okay, the funnel metaphor, and you say in relation to the tool 5 shades of change concept, and then you say, okay, the funnel metaphor, so that should be one of those that you would encourage people to look at when they think about what change they are about to create.
Yeah, that's right. Or how they can move on strategically, as the TSI theory also suggests. You know, it's important to be empowered in a strategic way through networks. This is what the theory is suggesting. And we also have the strategic sustainable development. So this is why we thought they might be helping each other to create a synthesis, you know, that can empower social innovators more.
Yeah. So you mean that the funnel, so people should be thinking about, okay, what is it that is not sustainable and how can we make it more sustainable? But I mean...
They need to have some concepts and some images in mind. I mean, you cannot... maybe it's better to introduce, this is why we thought it's better to introduce something from sustainability. So, for example, if we just go and say they should be more sustainable in the way they do their social innovation, this might not mean anything at all, because everybody has their understanding in a different way when it comes to sustainability. This is why, you know, we are proposing a specific framework to make it simpler and to make it more easy to navigate with for the social innovators.
So, for example, the guideline, I mean, you have the 8 sustainability principles. They should be guiding you in terms of, so you could say, in relation to each of these, there is a discourse, so to say, saying that this is what we should focus on and either increase or decrease.
That's right.
Yes, this is like also to see sustainability in a more operational way. Also, like to say, yeah, sustainability. We want to achieve sustainability, but what does it look like sustainability? And this principle is like guiding this path for social. Like these sustainability principles could help social innovators and even sustainability practitioners to guide their initiatives, their social initiatives.
Yeah, so these would definitely, I mean, these principles then need to be explained. I mean, what is impartiality and how who is supposed to be impartial or not impartial in relation to what? What does influence mean? I mean, they're not self-explaining, so to say.
Yes. So you need more explanation in the add-in list to be more explanatory in each item.
If these, for example, if those 8 principles should mean something to somebody from an environmental NGO or from a public administration that want to do something that should improve the sustainability of a certain initiative, okay, then they should be explained. I mean, what is degradation by physical means? I mean, what is being degraded by what means?
Yeah, and I would also would like to ask